Welcome to Community Talk, a public affairs presentation of the MSA United Way and Super Talk 1270. Now your host, Jenna Gullo.
Good morning. Good morning, Bismarck, Mandan. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jenna Gullo. I'm the Executive Director of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way, and co-hosting with me today and always, Ms. Amber Jensen.
Good morning, everyone.
For those of you who don't know, Amber is our operations manager. She started off a couple years back as our event coordinator, volunteer coordinator, then internally promoted to now doing everything at the United Way. Thanks, Amber.
Yes, you are welcome.
Amber, you've been a little bit busy planning our biggest event.
Yeah, tomorrow is the big day for Day of Caring. It will be our 16th annual Day of Caring. And so if you haven't registered, please call our office, 255-3601. It's our 16th annual, and we have so many people involved, fired up, and ready to volunteer tomorrow.
Wow, we already have a call-in. Was that a phone for us? No, I'm just kidding. The phone rang here. If you do have any feedback on our show, have any topics you want us to cover, or have any questions about Day of Caring, call us. You can talk to us at 663-1270. And a special thank you to Super Talk 1270 for giving us this airtime every other week. You can find us here from 11 to 12. So, I've got to make special mention to a special in-studio guest, although she wants to remain silent. My beautiful, wonderful mother, Mrs. Barbara Gullo, is visiting from out of town, and she's in studio with us. So thanks, Mom, for being here. And she tunes in every other week from a small town in western New York where I grew up, and we're happy to have both her and my father here.
Yeah, and we're putting them to work tomorrow. Is that right?
Yeah, they want to volunteer. They said they didn't want to just drive around with me like last year.
You're fun, but you're not that much fun.
Yeah, exactly. They want to work. They want to help. So they're going to be helping. YouthWorks is going to be here later in the show. And so they're going to be helping to sort clothes and organize them for low-income kids who need back-to-school clothes.
Yeah, and I believe that event You've Got You Covered starts on Thursday. So Thursday night, individuals can go to the Bismarck High School and go shopping for clothes for school. And so it's a really great opportunity if you don't maybe have the funds to go out and purchase some of those clothes yourselves.
Yeah, and if you have not yet signed up, we do have a couple more projects listed on volunteerbisman.com. But we hope to get 1,000 volunteers tomorrow. We have a couple more projects that we need volunteers for. We need to build garden boxes for low-income neighborhoods. Yeah,
we could use about 10 more volunteers for the NDSU Extension services with those garden boxes. And so even if you don't have experience doing drills and that kind of stuff, they still could use people to help paint the garden boxes once they're assembled. There's a few other projects. The YMCA just got a really great donation from Prairie View Landscaping. And so they're looking for about 5 to 10 volunteers that can help do some landscaping outside at the YMCA. If you're willing to drive a little ways, Wilton Mentor Program always does a stretch of highway along Wilton, and they could use about 20 volunteers. And so that's a really big project. If you're willing to head north, all ages can help with that project and do the garden cleanup. They have lunch and all the supplies available for you once you get to Wilton.
Yeah, and Ben Hodek from Solid Rock Financial is going to be trying to recruit some BHS soccer players. He's the assistant varsity coach there, and he's going to try to get those folks out to Wilton to help with the highway. But we need more people, so in order to get to that 1,000 volunteer goal, give us a call. You can call our office. That's 255-3601. You can go online to volunteerbisman.com, or you can call us if you have any questions. If you've never done Day of Caring, you're wondering what it's like, our number here at the studio is 663-1270.
Yeah, and if you just find out about it late tonight from a friend, people can come to Shiloh Christian School at 7:30 a.m., sign up on site, just go to the help desk, and we will direct you straight to a project.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if you want to just join in and support our campaign kickoff, we're going to be announcing our chair of the 2015 campaign. We're going to be announcing our goal. You're going to be hearing from the First Lady, Betsy Dalrymple, and also Mayor Mike Seminary. They're joining us tomorrow. And you'll be able to see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who are taking the day off of work and giving back to our community. So we'll have breakfast. We'll have donuts, muffins, maybe
granola bars, you name it. Bananas.
Yeah, coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
lots and lots of coffee.
A special thank you to Jason Milner from Stiefel Financial for donating so that we can actually provide breakfast. And also, we have a lot of sponsors. We have Big Apple Bagel and Cashwise. And
Starbucks will be on site serving the coffee. They're doing a big donation this year with the coffee, so that will be really nice to have there. Yeah, you name it. We have, I think, 24 sponsors, so a lot to name.
Yeah, absolutely. So join us. Even if you can't volunteer for the day, come see us 7:30, Shiloh Christian School tomorrow morning for a big kickoff. Now, one person I know who will be there and will have a lot of volunteers to host. In studio guest, we have Renee Kipp. Renee is the executive director of the Burleigh County Senior Center. Renee, thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Jenna.
You had a big project, Day of Caring project last year, didn't you?
We did. We painted our entire rec room.
Yeah, and we had Heidi Rue from Superior Insurance that was assigned to you. She's just...
she's coming back, so it must have been
a ball
okay.
of fire, isn't she? Just
Yes,
a ball
she
of fire,
is.
and she was volunteering with you. And so what all did you do last year?
We painted our rec room, and it's a very large room. And we also had a car wash for our home-delivered meal drivers.
Oh, that's neat. That's really good. So Burleigh County Senior Center, tell our listeners a little bit about some of the programs that we support at United Way.
Well, at the Senior Center, we have a nutrition program where we offer congregate meals Monday through Friday. We serve every day at 12 noon. We also have home-delivered meals where we deliver meals to seniors that aren't able to get out. We have a health maintenance program where we offer blood pressure screenings, blood sugar screenings, and foot care. Foot care is very important for older people, making sure that their toenails are taken care of, that they don't have any problems with their feet, and we have 2 nurses that take care of that.
And you have nurses right on site.
We
that
have
do
2
that.
nurses on staff.
That's so important, especially when people sometimes don't think they might need that medical attention or care. It's a nice way to get that checkup.
It is. And they're always there if there's an emergency or if someone just has a question about one of their medications or something like that, they're there.
Okay, Renee, we want to learn more about this upcoming month. We have in September, Senior Center Month.
Senior Center Month. It's Celebrate Life at the Bismarck Senior Center. We're going to be having a whole host of special events and activities throughout the month. The highlights will be on Grandparents' Day. We're going to open that Sunday, September 13th. We're going to have a movie matinee at 1:30 with popcorn, snacks, and other fun games and activities so people can bring in their kids, their grandkids, their great-grandkids, and have a fun afternoon.
Wonderful. I want to hear more details. You are listening to Renee Kipp from the Burleigh County Senior Center talking on United Way's Community Talk. Join us in just a couple minutes to learn more about activities going on this next month for the Burleigh County Seniors.
Right now, 72.
Get the traffic and weather information you need anytime on Super Talk 1270 and online at supertalk1270.com.
Welcome back. I am Jenna Gullo, the Executive Director of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for showing up tomorrow morning at 7:30 at Shiloh Christian School. It's our United Way campaign kickoff. It's open to the entire community. We'll have breakfast there. We'll have some guest speakers. You'll hear a brief thank you and welcome from First Lady Betsy Dalrymple. We'll have Mayor Mike Seminary. We'll have President Ted Cash, president of the United Way Board. His real job is at Basin Electric. He's a VP of HR over there. And then you'll also hear from our Day of Caring co-chairs. We have Molly Harrington and Amy Hollett, who have really done so much work in organizing over 40 different projects and almost 1,000 volunteers, along with your co-host today, Ms. Amber Jensen.
Good morning, everyone. And I think you're missing one speaker. Are you missing one? yourself, maybe. You'll get to hear from the executive director, Jenna Gullo.
Tune in. Make sure you don't miss that. Lord knows you can't keep me quiet. But we'll also be announcing our campaign chair.
Yes.
And recognizing our campaign cabinet. And these are the people that work so hard. Last year we raised $2.5 million for our community.
Which is amazing, and it starts with this one day of bringing so many people together to see the impact that these agencies make and how United Way plays a big role in bringing all of these agencies together, bringing government officials, bringing community leaders, businesses all together to really make a difference in this community. And it all starts with our kickoff tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's not just about the money, but most importantly, what we do with those dollars that you give. Because we at United Way make sure that your dollars are going to meet the most important needs, to fill any gaps that we might have in the community, and also that we partner with agencies that work well together to meet those needs and make sure they're providing the highest quality services to people in need in our community. And an example of that, an excellent example, is the Burleigh County Senior Center. We are talking with Renee Kipp, the executive director over there. Renee, thank you for being such a good partner.
You're welcome.
We appreciate everything that you do. How long have you been at the Senior Center?
It will be 4 years.
Oh, so you're pretty new there.
Pretty new.
Yeah, but you have done a fantastic job in the short time that you've been there. It's been really nice, and we always hear such positive comments from the seniors that go.
Great.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
And it's fun, too, because people can volunteer. You were just talking to my mother during the break about all the different volunteer opportunities that you have over there.
We have lots of volunteer opportunities. We always need volunteers in our office by answering phones, helping make health appointments, assisting with copies, faxing, people to answer the phone and take meal reservations. We also, with our nutrition program, are always in desperate need of people to help pack meals and deliver those meals out to the people in the community.
So how many volunteers do you have right now that are out delivering meals?
We have about 50 volunteers that actually deliver meals.
Wow, and how many homes is that?
We have almost 200 homes now that we're going to every day.
That is unbelievable. And then what I really like, too, is that anyone over the age of, is it 60? 60 can qualify for a meal.
Yes, they do.
And that it really depends on your income and what you can afford.
Everything is donation driven. It's anonymous. We do not request payment. We have a box. You come in. If you can only put in a quarter, that's great. If you can put in $5, that's perfectly acceptable.
And a lot of people confuse the program. They might say Meals on Wheels. Now, that's a program run through the hospital, right?
Correct.
And so what's the biggest difference there, just to clarify that?
We're a Title III federally funded program, so all of our meals are coordinated that way.
What does that mean?
That means we receive federal funds to provide meals in the community. And we do have to meet certain guidelines as far as being homebound. And, the biggest requirement, of course, is to be 60 to come in for the meals. Now, if you're under 60 and would like to eat with us, that's perfectly fine. But we do charge the full price of the meal for people under 60.
Sure. And it's just nice that people have the option, too.
Right.
So if I want to come on Wednesdays for those caramel rolls, I just have to pay.
Well, it's $1 for a caramel roll.
Perfect.
So come on in. I'll be waiting for you.
Sounds good. Mark that next Wednesday. I'll be there.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Okay. So tell us, is this something you do every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday at 8:30 until we sell out. We have caramel rolls. They're $1 a piece. Free will offering on the coffee. Bring in your friends, family, whoever. Sit down and have some community enjoyment with the people there.
Well, and I think that's half of the purpose of the Senior Center is that socialization aspect.
Socialization is very important, especially as we age. To have friends and people that you can talk to is very important.
Yeah, conversation. Getting up and out of the home and having a routine is really important too,
yes,
I
it
find.
is.
So is there scheduled activities in the afternoon? Do you have pinochle on a certain day at a certain time?
We have pinochle every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have bridge on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We do bunco a couple times a month. We have bingo on Wednesday afternoons. We're going to start with an afternoon matinee every Friday.
How fun.
Pool tournaments every Friday morning. Bone Builders exercise class, which is great for people with osteoporosis to build up their bone density. That we have 3 different groups that each meet twice a week. We have a gift shop where people that come in make crafts. We sell them in the gift shop. We also have very inexpensive gift items that people can purchase.
Now, that'd be a fun place to volunteer at. Are you able to volunteer in the shop itself?
Yes, you are.
Perfect. So we are talking with Renee Kipp. She is the executive director of the Burleigh County Senior Center. Renee, just for people that are interested in getting a schedule of your regular activities, where can they find that?
On our website, bismarckseniorcenter.org. They can call us at 255-4648. We could mail them a copy. They can pick one up at the Senior Center, 315 North 20th Street. And we also offer a subscription for $5, and we can directly mail it to them at home.
What's the cross street with 20th? Is it
20th and Rosser?
It is 20th and Rosser. And a lot of people, especially if they're newer to town, we had a lot of people that moved after the flood from Minot. Maybe they haven't quite acclimated to the community. It's right on Rosser and 20th. You can't miss it. And it is a fabulous place to be, isn't it, Renee?
Yes, it is.
You call it 60 and fabulous?
60 plus and fabulous.
And you have a fabulous month coming up in September. It's
We do.
Senior Center Month.
One other activity we'll be having for Senior Center Month is on Thursday, September 24th. We're having a family and friends night. We're going to stay open till 8 o'clock in the evening. We will have a taco in a bag for supper with a free will offering. We're going to have some pinochle pool tournament and other activities. And then at 6 o'clock, the Cottonwood Bluegrass Band will be there to play for everyone's enjoyment.
They are fun. Why don't you run through the whole month of September again for people that might be just tuning in?
September 1st, Clarence Hoost will be entertaining at 12:45, so that will just follow our lunch.
And I'm sorry, this might be an ignorant question, but who is Clarence?
He plays the accordion.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. Thursday, September 10th, we're going to have a seminar on cochlear implants. Again, on the 13th of September, we'll have a Grandparents' Day movie matinee. The 15th, we're going to have a stroke prevention seminar. We'll have some helpful information there. The 24th, again, our family and friends night. And then on the 29th of September, we're having a drone demonstration in our parking lot.
Ooh.
Wow,
So
who's doing that?
That is someone from KLJ. Someone from KLJ that's coming in with those. And then one other activity we have coming up, October 2nd, we have a bus trip scheduled for the Norse Coos Fest, and they're going to the Martina McBride concert. We still have room on the bus. If anybody is interested, they should give us a call and reserve a spot, and the fee for that would be $90.
And so that, again, is 255-4648 if you're interested in going to the North Hoost Fest for $90 is the fee. And so do you just take a large bus up there then?
We have a large bus, and we take anybody who wants to go with.
So is it a party bus? One with the pole in the middle? No, not one of those types.
It's a Greyhound.
Okay, well, they can drive up in comfort then. So for the other events in September, are there costs associated with those activities?
No, there are not.
Perfect. And so if people want to attend, do they just show up?
They can just show up. If you would like more information, check our website, give us a call. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
And you have United Way volunteers coming to your place tomorrow. What are they going to be helping with?
We're going to tear out some old cupboards in our rec room and install some new ones and a new sink. And then I have an old counter that we're going to shabby chic.
Ooh.
So it should be fun.
Once you figure out how to do that counter, let me know, because I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to fix your mine at home.
And so do you have skilled laborers that are coming to install this?
Well, Heidi Rue found a carpenter.
Good for her.
Us.
Good for her. Isn't that so great? And so if you're listening out there, if you do have special skills that you want to volunteer your time tomorrow and your talents, please give us a call at United Way, or you can go online. We still have a couple projects listed on volunteerbizman.com, and we're looking for some extra hands.
Yeah, right now we could use some special skills at the YMCA for landscaping. They could use about 5 to 10 more that would be interested in even just planting some trees, doing some rock work. They will have a couple bobcats on hand, so if you know how to work a bobcat, great. If not, we also have NDSU Extension, building garden boxes. And so if you have a drill and like to build and be a craftsman, head on over to NDSU Extension. Stop by Shiloh Christian School tomorrow at 7:30.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to Renee Kipp, the Executive Director of the Bismarck Senior Center. You can go to bismarckseniorcenter.org. You can give them a call, 255-4648, or give us a call at United Way. Join us in just a couple minutes to learn more about what's going on this week.
Right now, 72.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
Welcome back. My name is Jenna Gullo. I'm the Executive Director of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way, and we are so happy you're going to be joining us tomorrow for our campaign kickoff, the 2015 campaign. We're going to be announcing our goal, announcing our chair and our campaign cabinet, and talking to you about how we make this all work. It'll be short and sweet with breakfast and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of your closest friends who are giving back to the community through our 16th annual Day of Caring. Co-hosting with me today is Ms. Amber Jensen, our operations manager at United Way, one of 5 employees that make everything work. Amber, thanks for being here, and thanks for everything you did to organize our largest Day of Caring yet.
Yeah, it's been fun. We did a quick meeting before I came over here. I think we should be good to go and we're set, but we're, like you said, we're still looking for volunteers. So join us tomorrow at 7:30 at Shiloh and we'll put you to work.
Yeah, and we'll have T-shirts for you.
Absolutely.
So we have our Day of Caring T-shirts that are sponsored every year. We have breakfast that's sponsored by Jason Milner from Stiefel Financial. We have hundreds and hundreds of volunteers and people who are team captains that are leading each of the individual projects. And then, of course, our agencies. What would we be? We'd be lost without the good work of our partners and what they do in our community to help to meet and address the needs in the most efficient way possible. So come to Shiloh Christian School tomorrow morning at 7:30 and be a part of the change. It's a really exciting day.
It is fun. We'll have First Lady Betsy Dalrymple there welcoming and thanking all the volunteers. We'll have Mayor Mike Seminary there to kick it off. Like you mentioned in the last segment, Ted Cash, the United Way Board President, will be there. Jenna will be giving her heartfelt message. I think that's what I put in the script, so I hope you're working on that. This is just a lot of fun. I know this is my 3rd Day of Caring working at United Way, and I started just a little bit before the Day of Caring, I think 2 years ago, and it is a pretty remarkable. And so if you haven't been there, stop on by 7:30, Shiloh Christian School. It's a lot of fun and just a great movement of people coming together to help the community out. Last year, we saved the community $217,000 from just this one day.
Yeah, and you can have skills. You can be, contractors and professional landscapers, because we certainly have those who have raised their hands. But then you could be like me, who has 0 skills whatsoever. I'm the worst painter in the world, and yet I can still donate my time. My parents are in town from Western New York State, and they're going to be volunteering tomorrow. They're going to be at the kickoff, so you can come meet my parents. They came all this way just to see you. And then we will have fantastic people, some of my favorite people, like one of our guests right now on the show. We have one of my favorite people in the community from YouthWorks, the Executive Director, Melanie Heidkamp. Melanie, thank you.
Well, thank you for inviting us and for doing this for the community.
Well, this is just, Day of Caring is one day, but you are here every single day for the boys and girls and families that really need you, that often people don't even know these issues are existing in our community, and you see it firsthand day in and day out.
Well, we really do, but it's very, very rewarding, because you don't have to do an awful lot to really make a difference in their lives. And And you feel that. You feel that what you're doing makes a difference. Even on a day like tomorrow, what a difference that makes for the community and for those who know that they wonder if anybody notices. So
for tomorrow, this is something that we do for YouthWorks every single year. Tell our listeners about, what happens tomorrow for your Day of Caring project.
Well, we're very, very excited, and we would not be able to pull this off without Day of Caring. So I have 2 young people in my office. They're not, they're getting older now, so they probably are listening and they wonder about me calling them young anymore. But they really came up with an idea called We've Got You Covered. They really felt from working with high school students that it's tough because every year, this time of year, a lot of us take our kids to the mall or out shopping for big back-to-school clothing, and they notice that those clients that we serve really never got that opportunity. They don't get the opportunity to go to the mall. They don't have the resources or the money. And so it was really their idea that they could collect clothing, gently used clothing, and they've teamed up with Plato's Closet to say, let's do something for these kids. And the event is called We've Got You Covered, and we have gotten so many clothes. There is a garage stuffed full of clothing, but in order to sort those by sizes and get them ready for the event, which is actually on Thursday, we kind of pair this off with the Day of Caring because we are using over 40 volunteers from the Day of Caring just to go through these clothing, get them ready for the event. Last year, we had around 350 young people come through who really wouldn't have been able to get any clothing for school.
That's unbelievable.
I remember when we sorted at Good Shepherd 2 years ago, and we were in the middle trying to take photos of all the volunteers, and it was like incoming jeans were coming flying over your head, and then a sweatshirt would come, and it was just really amazing to see when a group of people come together how much clothes they've been collecting. So how long does Plato's have their collection site available for the community? And if somebody still has clothes, can they bring them to YouthWorks?
At this point, they're really bringing them to our office, but we're getting close to being ready to close that out because we've got to kind of move into the sorting and laying them out. So it's really closing out now.
So Melanie, paint a picture of a child that turns to YouthWorks in need.
So what's interesting, and we really didn't know what to expect the first year that we launched this thing. We thought it could be, who really is out there. We have families that travel. We've gotten calls from families from Standing Rock, from Jamestown, saying, I can't be there. I don't know. It might be grandparents who are caring for their grandkids and going, I'm doing my very best, but I can't afford all this. So we can get carloads of kids from one family who are coming in where and you can see the relief on the parents or the grandparents' faces that at least I know they're going to have some clothing that fits them and some shoes and things like that. So. But it can be anywhere from a 12-year-old to a 17 or 18-year-old coming in looking for something that kind of makes them feel like they're part of their peers and that they're not standing out because they don't have a lot.
If people don't know what services YouthWorks provide, talk to our listeners about what a typical day is there. And there probably isn't a typical day.
There never is a typical day, and we have our focus is primarily on adolescents and young adults. That was really the population that we saw that was kind of underserved. And so when we opened up YouthWorks as a runaway and homeless youth program in 1986, it was really to serve that population. So we serve homeless young adults and we serve adolescents, early adolescents even, who are at risk. So they may be beginning to act out a bit or to where you really see the first signs of stress or something not being right in their life. And so we have professional counselors. We have programming such as the diversion program, the runaway program. We have a shelter where law enforcement may bring a youth who they can't locate parents, or who the parents are saying, we just can't keep going like this, we need more help. So then we have family counseling, which thanks to United Way, we wouldn't have available for those families. United Way helps, our United Way funds help offer that service. But we have school-based programming. We have an after-school program for our Native American children who are most at risk. And we, again, have the homeless program. So we have over 17 separate housing units for homeless young adults in our YouthWorks organization.
And so in the last couple of years with the oil boom and new people coming to town, have you seen your numbers increase, or has it stayed pretty steady?
They've increased slightly, but what's really affected us is affordable housing. So where we see the effect of that is really on just the economy and whether our clientele can afford to be competitive in the housing market, or even buy groceries, or balance their budgets and live off of the very little. Because as everybody out in the community knows, the costs have gone up for things.
Absolutely. And so is there a time limit that someone can be in your shelter, or is it until you feel like they have those skills and the training to balance the checkbook, to go out and buy groceries on their own, that you keep them in the shelter?
There is a time limit. They can live within, and there's two different types of shelter. One is our housing program for the homeless, and our homeless young adults can live in our homeless program for up to 18 months. In the shelter itself for under 18, where we shelter youth and try to get them back home, they can be with us maximum 21 days, but generally we're able to get them home within 3 to 5 days. So the length of stay in our emergency shelter for the under than 18 population is 3 to 5 days.
At what point is CPS called and involved? And, and maybe we should talk more about this after the break, but I know when I have foster kids, they're often either coming from YouthWorks or going there instead of going to school, or going there after school. So we want to hear so much more about what the services provide for our community. And also, just Melanie, I want to hear more about you. I want you to share your story with our listeners. So for everyone out there, you are listening to United Way's Community Talk. Join us in just a couple minutes.
Right now, 79.
Our own radio station. Not Fargo, not the Twin Cities. Proud to be Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
Welcome back. You are listening to United Way's Community Talk. I'm the Executive Director, Jenna Gullo, and we need you to get involved. We need you tomorrow. We're trying to recruit 1,000 volunteers for our 16th annual Day of Caring. So if you can pick up a paintbrush, do some yard work, if you have some kids at home and you feel like you can get them involved, end of summer, it's a fun day. And it's a really neat way to see people giving back. We have so many people in the community that have already raised their hand and signed on to projects. We have 3 different groups going over to Charles Hall. They're going to be creating some rooms for the kids that are really safe and helping them to de-stress over there. We have people at the zoo. We have people at the Buse Adult Resource Center, Northern Plains Dance, you name it. If there's a project in need, we're even going to a woman's home and helping her build a shed.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun project. We got the Realtors Association and some of their affiliates to sign on to that project. Really last minute, but really grateful for the wonderful volunteers that have signed up so far for Day of Caring. We're really, really close, and so we just need a few more people to go to volunteerbisman.com, pick a project, join us at Shiloh tomorrow at 7:30.
Yeah, and talking with us today is just one of the most fascinating people in the Bismarck area. We have the executive director of YouthWorks, Melanie Heidkamp. Thanks for being with us today, Melanie.
Thank you for having me.
You know, Melanie, I could listen to you forever. Tell our audience, people who might not know your history, tell them just a little bit about what you did prior to YouthWorks and, you know, your passion for the work that you do.
Well, now I'm going to date myself and tell you how old I am, but I started out as a social worker in 1980, and I got hired in Mercer County. And the interesting thing about being in Mercer County was that I got hired, and 3 days later, they announced that the coal gasification plant was going to be built.
Oh, wow.
So if I had rented my apartment 2 days before that, when they were $300 versus $500, but basically I worked in those counties, in Mercer and McLean counties, for 7 years during a time when the energy impact, it's much like what's happening with oil right now out in the West, but the communities tripled in size, and I was very young, but I was a supervisor of child protection and foster care. And through my work in child protection and seeing what I saw, I really felt strongly that so much of what I was seeing could have been prevented if services could have been offered sooner. This is another reason why I'm a big fan of United Way, because it's not very often that you can access funds and resources to really do prevention, to say, why do we need to put so much money on the back end when the problems are so severe? Can we do some things to really prevent some of what's happening? And I came to YouthWorks because that allowed me the opportunity to really work with youth and families in crisis before there had to be something very serious or some tragedy happen. And United Way offered that opportunity to have some resources to offer family counseling, like I had mentioned before, to do some prevention work. So I've stayed with YouthWorks because of that, because of my ability our ability to do some prevention.
You know, I was getting my nails done. This was the other month. They definitely don't look done today. But I was getting my nails done, and I saw this beautiful young lady who used to live with me as a foster child. Mm-hmm. Well, she came to me from YouthWorks. She had been, having a lot of difficulty with her parents. She had stayed in your shelter. Then she was placed into foster care with me. And she's now, because of your counseling and your support, she's studying nursing at University of Mary.
Oh, wow.
It is unbelievable.
That's so rewarding. It's really funny when Facebook really came out. I was getting these kind of be my friend type of things, and I'm like, okay, I'm so curious on who some of these people that want to be my friend are. And so I signed up for Facebook, and here were some old clients that were just trying to connect and let me know that it really mattered in their life, whatever those interventions are that we do. But that was pretty cool.
There have to be some pretty interesting challenges that you're dealing with now with all the changes in our community. Talk to us just a little bit about what you're seeing.
Our newest challenge is really in the area of human trafficking. And I think it's important there's a lot we don't know. We very possibly through the years have missed some of that because we weren't asking the right questions or knowing how to pay close enough attention to that we actually could have a young person in front of us who was actually a child of trafficking. But as we're learning and as we're seeing things surface with the influx of people, we certainly are being faced with the challenges of how are we going to serve human trafficked victims. And we're really gearing up for that. We've participated, and as an agency on our own, written 4 separate proposals to try to get some resources and some funds in as fast as we can.
And so, excuse me, some of the signs that you might want people to look out for in some of these victims, can you talk to our listeners about things that they might see that they might not be aware of?
I can, but I don't know that there's any single thing that somebody could point and say, well, there it is, it's really obvious. But what we do know about trafficking is we know that those youth that are the most at risk are also the most vulnerable to be trafficked, to be solicited, and to be, so our runaway youth in and of itself, because they tend to be more on the street or more vulnerable, are identified by traffickers to be trafficked. But some of the traffic victims really talk about that they show up a lot of times in the emergency room. They refer to their trafficker or pimp as their daddy or their boyfriend or something like that. So that's what throws people off a little bit. That's the language that they use. But just anything where you're seeing even the drug use, in order to move a young person into trafficking, a lot of times drugs are used. They're much more successful at keeping them in that life if they have them addicted to drugs. So that's a huge piece as well. But as some of the other usual characteristics of a sexual abuse victim, where they're pretty guarded, and they're very tied to the person, a lot of times an older adult male that they identify as either their father or a boyfriend.
At what point, if you have a runaway youth that is able to stay at your shelter, at what point do you call CPS, Child Protective Services?
We call if they've identified the fact that they are not willing to go home or do not want to go home because of what's happening in the home, and they identify some type of abuse or neglect. It is, with adolescents, it's very tricky because by the time an adolescent, say if they have been a deprived child or they've been abused or neglected, when they move into adolescence, a lot of times they'll start acting out more. So they'll start showing behaviors that then that's the focus rather than where is this really coming from. So you might see them skipping school. You might see them being verbally kind of abusive to others or really acting like they don't care. And in some ways they don't care because they're not very hopeful. They don't see their circumstances changing. So there's a lot of anger with it. The tricky thing, and I think the most important thing for the listeners, is a lot of times when we experience really angry youth, we just interpret that they're scary or they're dangerous. And it's really about a lot of times depression or possibly abuse and neglect. And that's where the anger is coming from.
Yeah, and you can see that. You can, once you have that conversation or try to get them to open up, you can see so much pain inside of them. What I love about YouthWorks is that kids who maybe have alienated their peers or have been, ostracized by their peers, they're able to go to YouthWorks so that they can continue with their studies.
Right. And we really try to create an atmosphere that isn't about judgment. It isn't about making either parents or kids feel bad, but really a place of acceptance, but one where healing can begin and new decisions and changes can be made.
And so if anybody wants to learn more about YouthWorks, what phone number can they call?
Our crisis line number is, and our regular business hour line is 701-255-6909.
So that is 701-255-6909. Again, thank you so much. We will be, YouthWorks will be a project tomorrow for Day of Caring. And so what time is the We Got You Covered event on Thursday night?
Oh, I think that starts around 4 o'clock. The actual doors open around 6 o'clock.
And can people just show up for that, Melanie?
Yes, absolutely.
So they show up at BHS.
Right, and we ask that the people who come to get the clothes, that there really is a need, that they cannot afford to get the clothing any other way.
Absolutely. Melanie Heidkamp with YouthWorks, thank you so much for the work that you do. And thank you to all of our sponsors. Jason Milner with Stiefel Financial, Cashwise, Big Apple Bagel. We have so many other sponsors making our Day of Caring and campaign kickoff work tomorrow. If you're out there and want to volunteer, go to volunteerbizman.com or just show up and sign up at our kickoff, 7:30. tomorrow morning at Shiloh Christian School. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the morning.